girl, what are you? And then, so I thought, well, what are you doing, like getting involved in that? And then I was thinking to myself, you know what? I think she's doing it because she really wants, trying to get a read.
I think she's seeing a lot of red flags now.
Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join 3 Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers!
Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Kelly.
I'm Wendy.
And I'm Lori.
Tonight we're talking about McBee Dynasty Season 3, Episode 7, Boiling Points. Before we do that, we'd like to ask if you could please go to our YouTube and subscribe, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and follow. And 5-star reviews if you wish. And please comment and engage because we love that. And thank you if you've already done that.
Yes.
Real quick before we start McBee, I don't know if I sent it or if Gina sent it. One of us sent something today that supposedly there's a screenshot of something going around insinuating that the Kyle Amanda West
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I wouldn't even,
is
honestly,
fake
I wouldn't even talk.
and it was made up for the show.
I wouldn't talk about it because we haven't even seen it.
I saw
No, you saw the screenshot?
I saw the post about it.
You saw the post, but that's what I'm saying.
I'm just going on record saying this would not surprise me. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. This would not surprise me because I do think Summer House was a sinking ship. So if anybody does find the screenshot, send it to us.
There you go.
Send it to us. I personally don't think it's true. I think it's just someone like stirring the pot.
Yeah.
With, BS information. And
I mean, Amanda and West were together at the Jersey Shore this weekend. So
yes, they
there
were.
is that.
I saw that video of him at the boatyard. I thought, first I watched it a couple times. I was like, is he actually cleaning up? Like, I thought he was cleaning up. Like, he was condensing the glasses.
He was pouring somebody a drink into another drink.
But then, I don't know which it was. I wanted to believe that he was trying to be a good citizen and clean up the table and combine the glasses. But
maybe did he drink out of it after he did that? He was definitely condensing drinks.
I did not see him drink out of it.
Right. So the question is, was he doing that to help out and clean up? I mean, if you're typically if you're at a bar or a restaurant, you don't do that. You might stack some tables, but you're not condensing drinks unless you work there.
Well, there was a lot of drinks on that table. There was a lot of cups on that table. There was a lot of cups on that table.
Yeah, and maybe he's got like some OCD in him. Like maybe he feels like he has to do that. Who knows?
I don't know. I thought it was odd, though. I did think it was odd.
He's odd, so.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true.
All right. Well, so the episode starts out, we're still in South Dakota at the federal prison, and they're driving away from the jail, and they're all crying. And Kristi basically says, now the countdown begins. And Stephen Jr. says, we're going to need some advice with the business. And Kristi says, nobody wants to see you succeed more than I do. And then Casey asks Allie and Allie to go into the back. So it's Casey, Allie Eklund, Allie McBee in the back of the RV.
With the kids.
With the babies. And they basically ask Allie Eklund about their visit to Texas. And Casey says, what did your dad think of Steven? And she said her dad always says, if you have to ask, you already have your answer. And she says he didn't say anything. And in the past, she's been with people that they didn't approve of. And she said it wasn't good. The visit wasn't good timing. And Stephen Jr. definitely seemed flustered.
So I think it did not go well.
It did not go well.
That's what I got off of that whole thing.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
He said the same thing, though, too. When he came back, that's what his impression was, that it didn't go well as well.
I don't think it had anything to do with the timing. I don't think it had anything to do with anything other than the fact that he gives off weird vibes.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
He's a weirdo. Yeah. Casey brings up her and Stephen Jr.'s conversation about the tallow business, and Allie says Stephen wants her to have ownership of the tallow business, and Casey is probably confused. Casey says Stephen Jr. is scary when he's mad, and Allie's like, what scares you? And Casey's like, he's just scary.
Well, you're using that particular word for a reason,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
He said he has a bad temper, and, he's like an explosion. And according to Allie, she's heard that from other people that know him well, so it's not the first time she's hearing it.
I'm sure Casey's witnessed. I mean, we saw a little bit of it when I forget what Cole did last season, but he's like, "Oh, you a big man now?" Like he kind of came at his own brother. Uh, I'm sure Casey has seen it and heard about it from her own fiance. How Stephen Jr. reacts
And I
to
and I
certain
have a
situations.
feeling that the old man is the same way. I bet you he's got a
Absolutely.
rip-roaring temper.
I think he is probably a chip off the old block
Mm-hmm.
from that father. And we talked about it last week. I also think he's on some kind of enhancement for his physique that affects his temperament as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's all it is, and it's not something else that can alter your
I don't
behavior.
think that's all it is. I don't think that all. I think it's,
I have a
the
feeling
guy's a
that's not
dick.
all it is.
I think he's a dick. I really just think
Yeah.
he's a dick.
Well,
I think he's a dick too.
I just hope it's not like I'm not even gonna say it. Anywho, Jesse and Cole go to see Galena, and Jesse has Summer with him, and then Allie came and picked her up. So it does seem like maybe I feel like in this episode we saw him with Summer a little bit more.
But now, how about when she's like grilling him about, well, when's the last time you fed the baby? And like didn't even give him like a second to think about it. Oh, you don't even know when he fed. And then she says, the baby turned away from you. Like I was just like, whoa. Like there's a lot going on there.
So Wendy had mentioned that the one scene where he comes home from work and she's like, "Can you get me a bottle?" Like, and to me, like sometimes I think that this is production. Because again, that I thought that too last night. Because I probably wouldn't have thought about it, but it was brought up before. But yeah, she did say, "What I like." Listen, we're all sensitive. First child, there's a lot of there can be the blame game going on.
Absolutely.
So when she says, "When did you last feed her?" I mean, she kind of didn't even give him a chance to answer unless that was production.
That was production, right?
Right. And then she's like, "Oh, you don't even remember?" That I don't like. Like that's a dig, even though she might not think it in her head, but he's taking it as like, just give me a minute.
Right.
Unless it was production.
Right. And she did say, "Oh, look, the baby turned away from you." I was just like, "Ooh, there's a lot going on."
But
there,
again,
man.
she could have just been kidding, like, "Oh my God, look, she just like totally turned away from you." Like
Right,
kidding, but
right
now it doesn't seem like there's a lot of jovial moments between the two of them. So
no, and he seems like he's got a lot going on too. Like there's those still waters kind of run deep over there. I don't know
think
if
he's very stoic.
depressed or
Well,
I don't know what's going on with him.
He strikes me as the type to not want to have anything to do with this show, quite honestly.
And maybe
he's a
he's just
private
doing it
person
because everybody else did it. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
what's
he's
he
a
gonna
very
do,
private
not do it?
person. I mean, when Allie tried to take a picture, Allie Eklund tried to take a picture of Jesse and Allie McBee kissing. They're like, "Oh no, we don't do that in public. Like we don't do that in public." And he's very, like I said, he's just a very private person. He doesn't like to show, and he doesn't communicate. His own mother said that he's not
right.
a
He
good
internalizes
communicator.
everything. Yeah, right.
And which I said in the very beginning, and I'm not his mother. Like I could immediately notice that about him. Like he just he holds everything inside, and then it just kind of he breaks down, like we saw last year before the wedding. He's crying because he's like he's afraid, and I just think it's a matter of time before this happens with him again. I feel like we're going to see it because it's just getting to the boiling point, which I guess, in my opinion, like that's what this episode name is about, in my opinion.
You know, it's interesting when we saw that anniversary dinner with them, and he admitted that he had been drinking and that he was buzzing, right? He was much more communicative.
Yeah.
Not in a great way.
Right.
Because he was like, "Well, you make you made a lot of money. We can have the Wagyu," whatever the hell he was ordering.
Right.
But he was more communicative with the alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just a lot going on there.
Yeah. Yeah. So they tell Galena about dropping Senior off, and Galena says that Steve not being in the business and calling her every day is, that's going to make things a lot different. And then they talk about this NFR and getting a booth there, which is the National Finals Rodeo. And it's in 2 weeks, and it's a huge convention. And then we learn from Galena that Masha got a speeding ticket and went to jail for 2 days. Galena
That's the craziest thing.
But Galena's saying it's like Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. Now they're both in jail. That's great.
For 2 days. I mean, what kind of speeding ticket do you get and you wind up in jail for 2 days?
I'll tell you what,
know.
You're right. There has to be more to the story. Unless she had a warrant out.
I don't know.
And then what's that for?
Exactly.
Listen, Galena's been arrested too, so she really has no place to talk.
She doesn't have any place. But these Russians, these crazy Russian women, man, they don't care.
They don't play. Nope.
They don't play. Galena is not worried about karma. She's just throwing it all out there.
No, she's not.
So Stephen Jr., Allie Eklund, Cole, and Casey meet up. Stephen thanks them for coming in, and Casey says, let's just get this over with.
Yeah, she seemed super uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
Super uncomfortable. I was like, ooh.
Cole says it's a lot on Casey to get everything done while taking care of the baby. And Casey says, I help out all the time when I can. And Allie says, well, usually when you own a business, that's how it is. And Casey's like, no, I'm not talking about the Tallow. I'm talking about the other businesses. And I tend to believe her. I tend to believe that Casey's just that chick that, like, Allie McBee has her career. She's like a nurse practitioner or something. She's got her career in the city. Casey's like that down-home girl. Like, she's going to whatever you need on the farm.
Right.
Well,
Yeah. And she lives on the farm. She lives on the farm.
And I'm not saying anything negative about Allie McBee. I'm just saying.
No, but they're just two different people.
And by the way, every time I say Allie McBee, I want to say Allie McBeal because I loved that show. Did you guys watch that show?
I did.
Oh my God. One of the best shows ever. You should see if you can stream it because it's a great show. And Casey says she agrees that she shouldn't get 100% of the profits if they're going to help. But Stephen Jr. does not stop by. He does not see how the tallow's being made. And she says that she and Junior used to be close, and now he treats her like he's her boss.
Well, you see, this is the thing. You can be in an authoritarian role, but not make somebody feel like shit. Like, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. He just thinks that because he's got this MBA, that, he just like knows it all, and he's very condescending. And he doesn't see it condescending. He doesn't see it at all.
That's the problem.
And I think, I think that's a big part of the problem because you can't talk to people like that, You're going to rub them the wrong way.
He has horrible communication skills. So he could be the smartest guy on earth, but...
Right, with great ideas, but it doesn't matter because it's all in your delivery.
Yeah.
And if your delivery sucks...
Right. So Cole tells Casey... Yeah. Cole tells Casey that Cole says that he would like Casey to learn how to monetize on social media the way Allie Eklund does, because obviously she's doing quite well with it. Because Stephen Jr. says, how about you get to Allie Eklund, how about you get a percentage of your posts so you get paid immediately? And Allie says, well, typically I get 20% plus $10K a post, 10,000. So there's no way. She says, so there's no way. So Junior wants her commission to work towards vested equity in the company.
No, he wants to pay the 20% commission, and instead of the $10,000 a post, that will roll into vested equity.
Right.
Not the the commission would be separate. It'd be two separate things.
Right. So Stephen, Cole says he's heard of baby trapping someone, but Stephen Jr.'s business trapping her.
Business trapping, which is a great, great, great comment.
Absolutely. Because that's exactly what he's doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Allie says she doesn't see a part for her in this. And she doesn't think Casey and Stephen Jr. are communicating well. So she clearly, at this point, she's not into it.
No.
She's not into it.
No, because I think she's seeing the flags
Exactly. And I don't blame her. Like, whether you believe in the business or not, because I'm sure it's a great product. I use beef tallow,
Me too.
moisturizer, but I haven't tried theirs. It's very expensive.
That's the only thing I can use on my face.
Theirs
expensive?
is very expensive. Yeah.
It's all very expensive.
It
But
is, but theirs is, I think, when I looked.
Even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'll have
whatever,
to look at
maybe,
it compared to what I pay for. I get mine from some place in Ireland, but
Don't they have it at Trader Joe's? Doesn't Trader Joe's make one?
I don't
I
know.
I feel like Trader Joe's makes everything beauty products cheaper. I think we should check Trader Joe's. I bet
I
you
will
they have
check.
one.
I was
Trader
just
Joe's.
there today too, damn it. I will
Yeah.
check there. I get mine off of Amazon, but I got I researched it.
All right. Well, I'll have to look at what brand you get, and you'll have to look at what brand I
Yeah. I mean, listen, we
And
can
then check
order
Trader
we can
Joe's.
order the McBees and see if we like
and
it.
see if we like it. Yeah. So
So-
basically, it comes down to she's not. People are all out there saying, "Oh, she's asking for 20% of the bit." No, she's
She
not.
wasn't.
No, she
No.
wasn't. He definitely was though.
He was trying to throw that fishing line out there, but she was smart because she was like,
Yeah.
no, I don't see this. I don't see this happening.
Yeah, I think
She's-
she checked out at
She's a
this
smart
point.
business person. She has a finance degree herself, and she's like, these two can't even communicate, let alone they don't have an operating agreement. They don't have their roles defined. Casey's taking money out of her own pocket and putting it into this business. Of course, she's going to feel a certain way about it. She's the one who came up with the recipe. She's the one who refined the recipe. She's the one who created the product,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
that's what she's trying to express to Steven. Like, you don't even know how I make it. Okay, yes. I'm not asking you to come over here and batch it out. I'm asking you to come over here and see what the process is so that you can hire someone at $15 an hour. Like, don't
Right.
be a dick.
Right.
Don't be a dick
dick
about it.
But now,
Really
isn't
like
it
that.
weird? Because didn't they finally settle on McBee getting 70%, which I thought was wild.
So they
No, what
start.
was
So
it?
they start to talk about the profit split, and Casey says McBee should get the majority, which I think is pretty generous of her. So
I think so.
I do
McBee would
too.
get 40, Casey 30, Stephen Jr. 30. But
Okay,
let's face
okay,
it,
that's
the
how it ended
McBee getting 40 is going to benefit both of them as well, right? So Allie says there's no operating agreement and it's not clear what anyone's role is. And this is not how she does business. I mean, listen, we're three neighbors, friends who decided to do a podcast and we have an operating agreement.
Right.
You know what I
And we
mean?
have an LLC. Like, they don't even have that. Like,
I'm sure they're going to do everything
He
under
said-
the McBee umbrella.
No, you wouldn't. You would do a separate one. You would not do it under the McBee one. The McBee one's tarnished. You'd want to do your own.
Yeah, that's if I was
But if
her,
they're
I'd be
saying
like, no, we're
McBee's
doing
going to
it
get
separate.
40%, then,
Still don't want to do it underneath there. You do not want to do it underneath there.
well, either way, it is what
Yeah.
it is. They should have an operating agreement. I mean, everybody needs to know their role. Casey doesn't think she's getting any credit for what she's done. Casey and Cole leave, and Steven says he can hire someone for $15 an hour to do what Casey's doing. And Allie says, if you can't communicate, then you should not be in business together. And she's very right. Like, that right there was very condescending.
Absolutely. And he's foolish because it could be a very lucrative part of their business, especially because they'll be utilizing product that's right now garbage.
Right,
So-
exactly.
What are you doing?
All right, so the face cream I think is $35. So that's actually not
That's-
bad. What
that's
I was
actually not
looking
bad at
at
all.
was actually a bundle, and it
Okay.
was over 50, and I thought that was just for the face cream. So it's on 35 is I believe what I paid for mine on Amazon.
So I did think it was interesting that after Cole and Casey left, Steve Jr. and Allie were sitting there talking, and Steven said, I could hire someone for $15 an hour. Allie said, well, why didn't you say that to her? And he said, well, I can't do that because she's sitting there, she's already pissed off at me. And that's the problem with the family business. Allie said, well, you don't say anything. And then he's like, well, are they still out there? Because he wants to know if are they still out there? And she's like, I don't
Mhm.
know. And Allie in her confessional is like, he doesn't want to say anything because he knows who he is and he doesn't want to explode on her.
Right.
He doesn't want to explode on her because one, Cole is there, but more importantly, on camera.
And Allie's
Here's
there.
what
And Allie's there. 'Cause
And Allie's there.
He's trying to put on a mask.
Right. Yep. And
Yep.
she's catching on. Like, she's catching on very quickly. Like, before the season started, we only knew one side of the story, because she really wasn't talking. She really hasn't talked. I mean, he sent out the text, he screenshotted the text messages, and she never spoke to him again. They haven't spoken since then. And she was not out there giving him bad press. I mean, she was not doing that, which she very well could have been. But she's like, you know what? I heard her finally, at some point, once the show did start airing, she's like, I had tried to protect him this whole time. I was never going to out him. But as soon as he put it out there,
Right.
there's no protecting that.
No.
There's no protecting that.
No.
I don't think she's a bad guy. I don't.
No, I don't. Allie Eklund? No, I don't think she's the bad guy at all. I think she went on this show for an opportunity. I don't think she fell in love with somebody over DMs on Instagram. I think she went on because it was like, all right, well, this guy's interested in me. It's a reality TV show. I'm in that arena anyway. So let me just go see what's going to happen.
Explore it.
Exactly.
And
Right.
it fits
And there's
her
nothing wrong with that.
Right. It fits her whole genre. It's the whole Western.
Sure.
Blah, blah, blah,
Right.
the whole
People are
thing.
doing much worse on reality TV than what this girl did. And honestly, she's kind of being the voice of reason right now between Casey and Steven Jr.
No, I absolutely think she is.
So
Well, between Steven Jr. and anybody, she's a voice for
Exactly.
reason,
exactly.
God's sake.
Well, it's not that hard when you're putting Steven Jr. in the
In
equation.
the mix, yeah.
Yeah. So now we're at Jesse and Allie's. It looks like they're at the city house with Summer.
Mhm.
And Allie says she took off for Vegas. Kristi's going to babysit. And you could tell she's like excited, right? And basically,
He's a Debbie Downer,
he
basically.
he's like, well, you should go no matter what I do. So they're going to Vegas for that conference, the McBee boys. And Kristi was gracious enough to get the girls' rooms too, so that they could do like a bachelorette thing for Casey, even though no wedding's planned yet. But we're shooting a reality TV show and time is of the essence. So let's just get that bachelorette party in.
Right. Why not?
Yeah, no, it's going to be good for the show. So, Allie's excited. Jesse doesn't want to go. Allie says she doesn't feel comfortable in her own skin yet, and Jesse's not helping with that. See, she asks him what his hesitation is going to Vegas, and he said it feels shallow being a week after they took his dad to prison. I can understand that.
I think that's an excuse.
It's obviously an excuse, but if it weren't, I could understand it. Allie says it would be nice for them to sleep together without the baby in the middle of them, and Jesse says, like I said, there's pros and cons. Ugh. And then in his confessional, it's interesting to me how he opens up in his confessional, though. It's interesting to me. He says that their marriage isn't the best right now, and he doesn't really think everyone should see that. So that's what he's afraid of.
That's what he's afraid of, and he's being honest.
That's what he's afraid of, yeah.
That's absolutely what he's afraid of, because he's a very private person. And he doesn't want this to air out in public. This is just who he is. Like, I mean, yes, he's filming a show, but even if he wasn't filming a show, I don't think that he would want to go hang out with his brothers and everybody else, because I don't think he'd want them to see that there's this distance between him and Allie.
It's funny, though, because I forget how old Tess was, but we went, Eric's friend got married in Maryland, and we brought Tess. She was a baby. She wasn't even walking yet. My sister Patty took her, and it was just overnight, but it was like it was over 24 hours that we were going to be away because we had to drive to Maryland, go to the wedding, stay over, blah, blah, blah. But you don't realize, like, I hope we see it, and I hope we see them have a good time together. They'll probably have such a great time together because there is no stress of
I don't think that
taking
happens,
care of the
though, 'cause
baby. Probably
we see
not.
Scenes from next week. We see scenes from next week. It doesn't look good. He's in a strip bar. She's in a strip bar. Jesse's like, how is this helping? Like, I'm in a strip club. It's just like,
Yeah.
It's not a good scene. I don't think it's going to help them. I think if anything, it's going to make it worse. I kind of think that Jesse was right. I really do. I think that he saw this disaster coming. He saw that nothing good. He knows who his brothers are. He knows how Cole
Wow.
and Stephen Jr. like to party, and Jake, and he knows what was going to go on there. It was going to be a lot of drinking and a lot of partying, and that just isn't what he wanted to do.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, every season we've seen him, the only time I've ever seen him really intoxicated was that time when he went for his anniversary dinner. When he was, I mean, when they
And it wasn't like horrible.
No, it
He
wasn't
just
fall down. He was
buzzed up.
buzzing.
Yeah.
He was buzzing. He wasn't fall down drunk. But like Cole, we've seen drunk many times. Stephen, we've seen drunk, but we've never seen Jesse drunk. And I just don't think that's who he is. And listen, if you're going to be around people that are doing that, it's going to get uncomfortable. And I think he was trying to avoid making things worse. And honestly, I think that, I understand his mom's point of view that she was trying to do it for Allie. But I think, in my opinion, and again, it's hindsight now, I think she should have respected his wishes and kind of heard his reasoning for it.
Well, it's probably a situation where if he weren't going, Allie, it probably wouldn't even be on her radar to go.
Mm-hmm. And I wonder if
everybody agrees that Allie needed to go. Like, Allie needed some time away. Like, she deserved a break.
Right.
Right. But he said go without her. He said go. I want you to go and have fun.
Right. I wonder if he's afraid to actually be alone with her.
Wow. I mean, that's a thing. That's a real thing.
You know what I mean? Because then you really have to look at your relationship in the face. Like, you can't pretend, like, you can't throw the baby in the middle. You can't say there's work. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't throw all that stuff up. If you're somewhere and it's just the two of you in a hotel room, you got to fucking talk about something. Like, I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
Let's move on from it. We'll see what happens next week. So Cole and Stephen Jr. are at the fulfillment center, and Jr. says the tallow business has him stressed out. Cole says Casey shuts down more with Stephen Jr. than when they argue, her and Cole. Jesse joins them, and Jesse says he hasn't packed up for Vegas, and he says he's thinking the timing for the trip is terrible, and eyes are going to be on them for dropping their dad off. Like, he's very worried about he's saying he's very worried about the optics, Jesse. Jesse says Allie really wants to go, but the bankers are expecting them to take over, and it's not a good look for them to be out partying. Again, it's not outlandish that he's thinking this way, because obviously we see what they're going to be doing out there, and he knew that. He wants to bury himself in work instead of going with Allie because she's going to want him to be emotionally available, and it's hard for him.
That's what I'm saying.
He says it. No, he says it. He absolutely says it. He's honest about it. He's absolutely honest about it.
So Allie, Casey, and Tegan all go to Nigro's for some swag for NFR. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. If somebody knows and wants to correct me, go right ahead. And then Allie so they all show up, and Tegan mentions that they're going to go to an Australian strip show for Casey's bachelorette.
Thunder Down Under, right?
Yeah, the Thunder Down Under. Allie says Jesse isn't going, and the girls are like, all right, well, he needs to go because you guys need some time away, which is obviously what Jesse's trying to avoid. So they're having their conversation at the store. Kristi goes to see Jesse, and Jesse tells her that Allie is excited to go, but he doesn't know if he wants to go because of the business optics. Kristi says it will be fine, and you have people back here to deal with things.
And now, during that scene with him and his mom, I don't know if you caught it, but production certainly did something. There was a song on the background, and it said, "Am I my own worst enemy?" When Jesse's when Jesse's face was on the screen, I was like, "Oh, look at you people!"
Oh, I didn't hear that either.
Look at you people.
I didn't hear it, but Jesse does admit that he hasn't done a good job being there. He admits it. Like, he's like, I haven't done a good job being there.
Yeah, he says he put their relationship on the back burner. And Kristi says It happens, but the timing isn't great because she has postpartum. So here, another one, just like on the Valley, now we're learning. So she must be struggling with postpartum depression, which
So I feel
is
like,
horrible.
listen, it is horrible, and I think what the common theme we keep seeing with these people with postpartum, again, it is a real thing, but guess what? Jesse's going through something too. You know what? I know he didn't have a baby, but this is his first child, and they just got married. She was pregnant when they got married. Like, he's not. It's same with Kristen and Luke. I mean, yes, his family's there, so he's got that, but like, this is new for him too. And I feel like just because he's a man, again, he didn't give birth to. I get it, but I feel like people
I
need
don't
to
think-
give him a break too. I feel like they
Well,
do.
yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like
Well, it's
the men.
But it does. It
It's a
sounds
very
like
stressful time as a couple, especially when your wife has postpartum. So all of a sudden, here's this person that like you don't even know anymore because they're
Mhm.
going through something. You don't know what to do. Your life's a mess now too, and just like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening in my life? You know, for
Well,
both
and-
people, it's a lot.
And typically in marriages, the husband just wants to fix everything. So postpartum depression, there's no fixing that.
There's no fixing that. I mean,
you have to talk, you have to talk. I remember my doctor telling me, you have to talk to anybody who will listen to you. That obviously I went on medicine too, but that will help you tremendously. You have to talk about it. So I did.
I honestly think that that's what Jesse and Allie need is they need to be going to a couples therapist
Oh,
like
most
Kristen
definitely.
and Luke did, because the therapist said, like, when you put a baby in there, it's like a bomb, like in
It's
the
like a
middle of your
bomb.
relationship, right? And you need to
And-
talk about it.
Listen, Kristen's
what
getting
better
annoyed
place?
at Luke for going out once in a while or whatever, going to a bar. Jesse's taking off for 3 days to go work on the farm.
Right.
That's a big difference. I'm sure he's not coming home drunk like Luke, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
But
Right.
going out once a week with the boys just to get a break as opposed to disappearing for 3 days. That's a big
It's a big
difference.
deal. Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree.
So Kristi says, your life changes with marriage and kids, but she doesn't want them to go down the same path as she and Senior. And she's like, just go for Allie. It's only a couple of days.
I like that she said you've been her person since high school. Like, you guys need to reconnect. And then we see pictures of them from 2015.
I know.
So
And I'm
cute.
like, it's like I get what she's saying. I 100% get what she's saying.
Yeah.
I feel like, though, she kind of needs to respect his side of it too. I
think
like,
she's,
he's not ready. He's not ready, and he doesn't want to let her down. Like, he's going to go there. He's not ready to be there for her.
Yeah, but Kristi's also his mom, and she says he internalizes feelings and isn't a good communicator.
Yep.
So she also knows maybe when he needs to be pushed to address something that he might be
Putting off or putting
Yep.
to the side or
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
baby's a couple of months old at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
postpartum depression, it lasts, but typically I'm only talking from my own experience. By like 6 months, by the time Tess was like 6 months, I was feeling a lot better. So, she's going to come through the other side of this soon, but she might feel like you're procrastinating and you need to, what is your end game here? You're not going to get divorced. Like, that's ridiculous. You just got married and had a baby. So you gotta, put your big boy panties on and start being the man. I don't know. So now we're back at the store, and Allie Eklund asks Casey if she's mad at Junior, and she says, I just wonder how it's going to go in Vegas. That's what Casey's response was. And then Allie Eklund asks her if she's mad at her, and Allie McBee is like, oh, you'll know if she's mad at you. And I definitely get that vibe from Casey. And then Casey shows them a text message to her from Stephen Jr. And then she said she's reached out to him and he won't respond. But Allie Eklund said, oh, well, Stephen told me that you wouldn't respond to him.
Mm-hmm.
So here's another red flag. And Casey says they used to be super close and it just sucks now that they're in this position. So Allie Eklund is trying to figure out the dynamic between the two of them, and she's a little worried. And she thought Stephen Jr. was working on his temper, and maybe he hasn't been. And then we see Stephen Jr. is at his Kansas City condo. I mean, all of these people have two houses, 2 homes.
No.
Yeah.
Cole and Casey don't. They only have one.
I think they might, because they lived somewhere while they were building this other house.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we're going to have
don't think
to
they do.
fact check that. I'm going to go back and look,
Okay.
because I think they might. Anyway, Allie says in the past her family saw red flags with her ex, and she ignored them and got married anyway. And then she brings up
did she get married, or I didn't think she married?
she was married.
Oh, yeah, she did. Yeah, she was
married.
divorced within a year.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So she brings up the text messages to Casey, and of course, Stephen Jr. denies sending them and says that when those 3 get together, they build up his behavior to make it like it's horrific. And then he reads her his text message. So it didn't really sound that bad, right?
I mean, it didn't sound great. I don't think it sounded
great either.
It didn't sound great, but I just thought it was interesting when he started reading them.
It wasn't like the text messages that he sent her, for crying out loud.
No.
It wasn't like that.
It does say that they only own the one home. I Googled.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
They do? Okay. So I thought it was interesting when he starts to read the text message, and she said, I want to see it when you read it.
See it. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, oh, okay.
Yeah. So, she's no dummy. She's like, you're not going to give me what you want. I want to see it. I want to make sure you're reading me exactly what's there.
Yeah. Yeah. So then they call Casey.
Which what were your thoughts on that? What were your thoughts on her?
I was just thinking, like, girl, what are you? And then, so I thought, well, what are you doing, like, getting involved in that? And then I was thinking to myself, you know what? I think she's doing it because she's trying to get a read.
I think she's seeing a lot of red flags now.
I think she was trying to get a read on the whole situation, and that's why she insisted upon it, because I think she was kind of like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, let's call her right. Like, I'm not like messing around with this anymore.
She's sensing something between the 2 of them.
At first, I was like, that's kind of ballsy. Like,
I thought it was weird. I did think it was weird, especially when she said, I'm about to go in and get my spray tan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it sounds to me like she's standing there, like, undressed, getting ready to get her spray tan. And she's like, I have a minute. Like, That's a little awkward. This is what I'm envisioning, right? And then they start to kind of go a little bit back and forth. And she says, like, listen, at this point, it's not even about the text, right? Yeah. She's like, I'm over that, right? I don't know. I just thought it was a very awkward situation.
The thing was weird, and
I just think
weirder by the second.
Allie at this point is like, what is going on between these 2? Like, because it does seem more than a sister-in-law, brother-in-law relationship. Although I was very close with my brother-in-laws, but whatever. I don't know. It maybe I thought that's why Allie was like, we're calling Casey right now, because now this is like weird.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in the middle of this. Did you rage text? Did you not rage text? I'm not seeing what she was saying, and you're telling me you didn't, But so when they hang up with Casey, Stephen Jr. says he wants other people around when they talk so that things don't get twisted. And then he says a couple of months ago, Allie McBee was going around saying that Casey and Stephen Jr. have an inappropriate relationship and Cole needs to keep an eye on it. So
that was weird. Because if that's really the case, then how could Allie and Casey have the relationship that they have? It doesn't even make sense.
Allie McBee?
Yeah.
Well, she's not with Stephen. She's with Jesse.
No, but how could
still,
Allie McBee and Casey have the relationship that they have with each other?
If Allie was actually running around spreading that rumor?
Or there was a reason to spread it. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I agree. If somebody said that about me, I wouldn't be extremely close with them.
It just makes no sense. I was just
it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. And what didn't make sense is that Stephen was like standing on, I will not speak to Allie unless Cole is present. I mean, Casey. I will not speak to Casey unless Cole is present because I have nothing to prove that this is what actually happened. I'm like, the only people that speak like that are people that are guilty.
Yes.
Like if you've never done if you've not done any of these things, would you ever say that? Like those aren't words that people say that are innocent, like of something.
No, and then he goes on to say that he's never talked about this rumor. He never discussed what Allie McBee said with anybody. With Casey, with Cole, with Jesse. He's never talking. He never even said to Jesse, like, why is your wife going around saying that Cole needs to be worried about my relationship with his wife?
Yeah.
Because that's where I would start.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I would go right to Allie and be like, why would you say that?
He said he talked to Cole because Allie said to Steven if he talked to Cole about it, and he said yes, and he thought it was dumb.
I didn't. I missed that.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And Allie said, so who started the rumor? And he said, Allie McBee. That's when he said it was Allie McBee. And Allie's like, well, did you talk to Jesse about that comment? He said no.
Right.
But he
and
did
she
talk
says,
to Cole.
where there's smoke, there's fire. And where the F did this rumor come from?
And you can tell by her body language. You see how she kind of like folded up into herself? You can tell by her body language that she's like, what the fuck am I doing? Like,
for sure.
Who is this man? That was her body language.
Yeah. Because what he does...
Very bizarre.
It's bizarre. What he does say is that, Cole and Casey live up on the farm, and I live up on the farm. So I would stop by there all the time. I would see Blair. So, of course, we had a different relationship. Casey and I have a different relationship than I do with Allie because Allie's Jesse is not around as much. So he thinks it's because Allie is jealous. There's no way Allie would be jealous. She's got her own shit going on. She's not going to be jealous of Casey's relationship with you. That makes zero sense. Makes zero sense.
So there's got to be something because you put the two things together.
Well, he's probably lying.
Right, but you put the two things together and you say to yourself, she's really uncomfortable around
Casey.
Right. And now he's saying that somebody said blah, blah, blah. So I don't know what it is, but there's more to the reason that Casey is uncomfortable around him than business.
Maybe he came on to her.
I think he did.
But there's got to be something.
I think that there is something. I do think, honestly, because last season, like we saw that Casey is the girl that shows up at the farm when they need help. Casey is the girl that's there. I've said it from the very beginning. Casey's relationship with Steven Sr., she's the closest with him. And you could even see that when they were dropping him off, right? I think that Steven Jr., like they used to talk about it, and shit, that's what he said. Like he used to talk about his dates with Casey, and Allie thought that was inappropriate. Well, people could think that that's inappropriate, but if they're just friends, it's not inappropriate, right? And I could see them talking about that. But what Allie said is, if you and Casey have done nothing, then why don't you and Casey go say to Allie, why did you start this rumor? And the fact that hasn't happened leads me to believe that Casey is not even aware of this, that this is something that Steven is coming up with. Because I think that she's acting weird towards him because I think that he treats her differently in business, and that's where he's condescending to her. And she just shuts down. I think when they were just talking about, everyday life and there wasn't a business involved and there wasn't money on the line, I think that they had a good relationship. And as soon as the business became a part of it,
I see what you're saying.
I think he turned into a different person to Casey.
And she's like, what the fuck? Like, you used to be so cool around me. We used to be friends. We used to talk about stuff. And now all of a sudden I'm trying to do this business thing. And now you're just like a total dick to me, like you are to everybody else.
Right.
Instead of being how you always were. I see.
Because you can tell, like, she kind of has no use for him. And that's probably why, exactly what you just said. But when he brought that pot-belly pig and she was like, I never said that I wanted a pony. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's gotten like no use for him.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely think that they had a close relationship.
I do wonder if he came on to her like drunk one night or something like that.
Something weird.
I hope
like
not.
Something, I don't know. But he has done or said something that has totally changed their relationship, because the way that she acts towards him is she's highly uncomfortable around him and just wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Unless she's just really seen him rage.
I don't know, but you would think
Over
that she had
something.
seen that already.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
not towards her, though.
Well, maybe not towards her. Maybe it's
You
maybe
know,
something
like,
happened
I
that it
think-
came towards her, and now
That's
she's
what
like,
I'm saying. I think once the business got involved, I think once the Tallow got involved, once there was money involved, I think Stephen Jr. becomes a different person. I think he becomes a different person. And he wants to control the situation. And,
yeah,
you know,
maybe. It just, the whole thing was
I don't
weird.
know.
The
Yeah,
whole
very
thing was weird.
strange.
Yeah, it is
Well,
weird.
he says he's not communicating with her without anybody else there. And Allie Eklund just thinks that this is crazy. She's like, if nothing happened, then you guys should be able to talk.
Absolutely.
And she ain't wrong.
No.
And
No,
that's
she's
basically where we leave off. And then next week, we are going to see them in Vegas. And we are going to see them in Go-Go Bars and the Thunder Down Under. And I'm here
Jesse
for
does
all of
go.
it. The chick,
You know what
the
I don't like?
guys, I'm here for all of it.
They're trying to get Casey to get married in Vegas. She's like, I
Yeah,
never said I was going to get married in Vegas. Like,
I
that's
know.
so stupid. Why are they pushing that?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Her
She
family's
lives on a
not
beautiful
there.
farm, for crying out loud. She can have a, she could do whatever she,
Yeah.
No. That's silly.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how this develops, because that whole thing was just weirder than weird.
Yeah, it's taking a turn. This show is taking a turn, and of course, it was only a matter of time. But there's always got to be one rotten apple, man, and Stephen Jr. is that rotten apple.
Is that rotten?
I feel like he's going to ruin this show. He's just
I'm
I
so
don't know.
curious for next season. I'm serious, because Steven Sr.'s getting out September 11th. I mean, Masha, we get a whole different story from Steven Sr.'s podcast that he did with Chantel and what's her face. I don't know.
What did he say about his relationship with Masha?
Well, he said that he's probably going to marry her, and he's going to get a lot of heat from it. Yeah. And he doesn't want her filming without him there. He doesn't want Masha filming without him there. Because he's watching it. He's watching it in prison. When Steven Jr. was on Watch What Happens Live, he told Andy, he's like, I have no idea how he got involved in that podcast, because when I heard that podcast, I sent it to you. I was like, I cannot believe that these two girls got to do a podcast with an interview with Steven Sr. in federal prison.
Right.
Well,
like,
Suge Knight
Who
was
are
doing
they?
a podcast while in jail.
Right.
I know.
So it can be
Suge
done.
Knight. We're talking about Suge Knight.
But I'm just saying it can be done.
I guess so.
Logistically, it can be done. It's not like it's against the law for him to do it.
I'm
Right.
not saying
So
it's against the law. I'm
their
just saying, who
people-
are they? I'm just saying, who are they?
I mean, I don't know how they got the interview. I mean,
Right.
they were probably the only smart ones to reach out to him. He probably would have said yes to anybody.
Okay, well, we're going to try. We're going to reach out to him.
There you go.
I think the moment's gone, but we could try.
I'm
certainly
sure.
can try.
Anyway, I'm here for season 4 because I'm telling you, whatever happens in this season is going to be totally different next season once he's out of prison and Masha's unleashed with him by her side and he can finally
if he's
film.
going to be supportive of Masha, that's going to be wild.
He's
with
going to be
Galena.
marrying her. I think he's going to be marrying her. Yep.
Craziness.
Yep.
What a
Craziness.
shit show.
Yep.
What a shit show in a cowboy hat.
That's right. That's right. Well, thanks for watching and listening. Please like, subscribe, share, and
Do all the
5-star
things.
reviews if you will. Bye.
Bye.